Hi, I think it's January the 2nd today, 2018, and it's quite a while since I've given you a glimpse of my greenhouse, which we used this spring for the first time. I mean, we did use it last summer, but it wasn't till after the spring seedlings were grown really, so this is the first full year for the greenhouse. Out the front we've got a bed of comfrey, which I think we've already harvested 3 or 4 times this season for mulching tomatoes or making compost, and behind it we have we can't grow kumara in our double dug veggie beds, because if you do that they grow acres of tops and no kumara, so we're growing them in box gardens with the hard pan underneath. So I've got some kumara out the front, got a spot there for some water chestnuts next year, but I never got them in this year. And then I'll come into the greenhouse. Here's the big long list, garden list, jobs. And wow, it's looking pretty amazing in here at the moment. There's lots of stuff happening in here. The blue sheet up the top by the ventilation window is our flaxseed that we've just harvested this year. I think we've got hot peppers growing in pots in here. It's an experiment really. I didn't want to plant them out in the garden because I've got peppers for seed out in the garden and they're not hot peppers. Don't want them to cross. It's very obvious that the bigger the pot you put them in, the bigger the plant. Probably the more peppers we'll get, we'll see. But certainly the plants are a lot bigger on the bigger pots. The soldier fly farm in the back, I think at the moment we're getting about half a litre to a litre of soldier fly larvae each morning, so that's been really amazing for the chickens. Climbing up that wall and also playing a major role here in the front is the Malabar spinach, which I hadn't grown before, and we got some seed from King's and planted it, and it certainly loves it in here. The leaves are quite succulenty, and they're okay raw. They're quite nice raw, but I would never cook them. They'd probably go to slime. Yeah, the Malabar spinach is growing up the walls and along the string, and I'll probably take it. We'll see how it goes. Lemongrass in the back, turmeric, kaffir lime, and then I'm just trying eggplants and peppers. I'm trying licorice in here too. There's not much point planting it in the forest garden. It needs lots of water and the roots go horizontal when you can't dig up tree roots to get to licorice roots. So I'm going to have a go in here and see what happens this year. Have to wait 2 years before you can dig the root up. And then we've got some basil and some self-seeding dwarf tomatoes and tomatoes that are just finishing. And then in this corner we've got the ginger, and I'm pretty excited about the ginger. I'm just about to put another layer of soil on it and put a frame around it so that you can like build the soil higher and higher, because the ginger grows up and up into the soil. I think ginger also likes the heat and the humidity, but it doesn't like the full sun. So that's why I've got the Malabar spinach sort of climbing all around it. And it looks really beautiful. The ginger's really happy. So I think, in fact, it's probably the best ginger I've grown so far. It's nearly a metre high, no, maybe 80 centimetres. And the leaves are very dark green, and I think that the Malabar spinach really helps to create the environment that ginger likes. Yeah, so it's looking pretty lush and productive in here at the moment, and yeah, I'm pretty happy. The other thing I just wanted to say about this greenhouse is that greenhouses are ideal places for psyllid and pests, aphids and things. And I had an infestation of psyllid in here last autumn on the tomatoes that I overwintered and the peppers. They were really bad, and I freaked out a bit, because if they overwintered in here then they'd just infect the garden again now, and the greenhouse would become like the infection point, and that wouldn't be a good thing. So what I did was I pulled out all the plants that had psyllid on them and probably threw them in the soldier fly farm, and I'd soaked and drenched the soil with Koanga Balance, which is just full of microbes, and I just added compost and just generally took good care of the soil, made sure it was happy, that there were plenty of nutrients in there, and I gave it a good soak with Koinga Balance with molasses and fish in it, which is part of the instructions on the Koinga Balance. And I can't find any psyllid in here now in early January, and I think there would have been it would have been all over in here by now if I hadn't done that. So the older I get, the less likely I am to jump to conclusions in a hurry, but it feels like what I did was a good thing, and I didn't use any poisons or any insecticides of any sort, and I don't have psyllid in here, touch wood, as it, you know, at this point.